Alright, so this video is about living in house number 4. And in my research, house number 4 is about structure. Students can live here, architects. This is discipline. You may become more disciplined, stable financially, but also it can bring boredom and relationship issues. And it's said not to be a super emotional house to live in, so it's not advised for, like, I guess, couples and things like that. But take some of this with a grain of salt. Yeah, so it's stability. And when I think about 4, I think about 8, which is represented by the Capricorn. So think sturdy structures, financial stability. I said that already. But my experience with living in house number 4, that's true. Like, the apartment was not cute at all. It was your basic bare minimum hood apartment, and it had what do you call it, aesthetic issues with it that I didn't like. It was an old apartment, needed new floors, but it was cheap. So I lived amongst my means, or below my means, actually. The rent was $625, and it was a 2-bedroom and had wash and dry connections. And it was on the bus line, and it was 10 minutes from downtown. It was perfect location, but the apartment, I hated the aesthetics of the apartment. Brick duplex style apartment, right? But I was making good money, and this is pandemic time, and I was working in a hospital on night shift, and we were getting all kind of bonuses if you worked overtime, because we were short staffed. A lot of people were out sick, and then me working at night, I would get like extra pay. And then also I elevated in my position. I became shift leader. So again, that is like a 4 Capricorn type energy, where you become a boss. And also, like, we had 2 cars. I had one car that was paid for, and then we had got a second car that we had a car note on. And I was able to afford that, and rent, and go on trips when I wanted to. Also, I was pretty disciplined with my channel at the time, and also I got obsessed with creating schedules, because I had the craziest shifts, but I worked like 3.5 days a week, and then I'd be off. I'd be off like the rest of the week. Like, I had the best schedule now. I worked nights, and then I did 12s 3.5 days. Well, 3 days, and then I did like a 6 on one day. So that's the half day. But I was making good money. I was making the most money I had ever made living in that apartment, and then my bills were cheap. But my relationship did struggle. So that's true. It did struggle, but whatever me and him went through, or if he lost his job, I was able to maintain the bills and have extra. I was able to buy us clothes and if I wanted to, get my hair done, nails done. I was good at that house. And then when I left that place, I moved up into a better place. Like, I was able to knock off debt. I had knocked off some debt. I paid some big bills off. I also inherited some money. So I have no beef with house number 4. I have no beef with house number 4. If your relationship got problems, it's going to have problems wherever you live, really. And probably because at that time we weren't aligned. We weren't aligned at that time, and not financially aligned. So you're going to have issues. But if you and your partner is on a good flooring, understanding, and you're on each other's level, then yeah, you're gonna be fine wherever you live. Like, your house number don't dictate everything, but it can show a theme of what you might experience and go through. That has been my experience. So when I looked up house 4, that was true. All that stuff was true. Like, I was disciplined. I was making good money. I had a work schedule, and I was taking care of debt and stuff like that. I had savings. I had credit cards, you know. And then when I left there, I moved to a better apartment. It was more out into the country, but the apartment aesthetically was better, and I missed that apartment too. That's the part. That's funny, because it went from a 4 to a 5. That was the 5 apartment. So I moved from house 4 to 5, and then I had moved to Dallas after that, which was a house 9, which I've already talked about that. But yeah, that's my experience living in house 4. What's your experience with house 4? I would love to know. I'll talk to you again next time. Bye.